Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my introductory talk about Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering has been around since the 1980s. It is currently the largest trading card and card game played ever, with exceptions to poker, but that's not a trading card game, so it doesn't count. In fact, Magic the Gathering, Wizards of the Coast has officially put out in June of 2026 that Commander specifically, the Commander form of Magic the Gathering takes up 45% of their entire Magic the Gathering played. So it's definitely one of the most popular forms of Magic. For your understanding, Magic the Gathering is a simple card game where you have creatures and you try to duke it out to kill your opponents. There are different formats to Magic the Gathering. Today I'm going to talk about Commander formats specifically. Other formats include Modern, Standard, and Draft, and I will explain those as we go along. Commander format is you have a single deck of 100 cards. They look about this size, so it's a decent sized deck. And these 100 cards have to be 100 different cards, with the exception of basic lands and things like that. Those can be duplicates. However, every unique card is the only kind of card in that deck. What differentiates Commander from other formats of Magic the Gathering, from things like Standard and Modern, is Commander's ban list, so the cards that you are allowed to play in Commander, is significantly less when compared to something like Modern. Modern's ban list is that you can only play cards printed within the last 2 years. So it's only Modern sets. Standard has a significant ban list where they just basically ban any card that is too powerful to be considered part of the format to play in. So they ban like the cards that just destroy everything in one turn. Okay? Commander also has something that differentiates it. While typically you would start with your deck and you draw your 7 cards to play the game, Commander, you start with a single card, which is a legendary creature, call them your general, out and able to play whenever you want. So he's not part of your hand, and typically someone would build their entire deck around their commander, hence why it's called Commander format. And there are a couple pros and cons we can see with this. We can see that in Commander it's typically played with 4 players instead of the normal 2 that Magic the Gathering has. And so instead of a 1v1 duking it out, you have 4 different players, and there's a lot more social environment involved. And so you can talk to the different players. You can catch up on recent events, but more importantly, you can play politician and you can ask them not to attack you, and if they don't attack you, you can do something else. And so it brings an entirely new aspect to the game. Something else that's really fun about Commander is because of the uniqueness of the decks, these decks tell a story of who you are. We know that, I have a quote from a YouTube video from a channel called Tolarian Outpost, similarly. And that YouTube channel talks about how their deck defines or talks about who they are. And so with Commander, you have a lot more ways to express yourself, right? You have 100 different cards and no repeats. You can do a lot with 100 different cards and no repeats. So you can express yourself, you can show your creativity. There's a lot more fun interaction between your cards than you would other decks. Some downsides to Commander. Because it is 4 people in a play game, games can last a lot longer. While typical Magic the Gathering games can be anywhere from 20-30 minutes, Commander can last upwards of 2 hours per game. And so it's a lot more of a time commitment. It can be a lot more difficult in order to set aside time to get friends together to play Commander. Another difficulty is, let's say you want a new player to come into Magic the Gathering. It's a little less inviting. It can be more inviting in some situations. It can be more inviting because Commander is a lot more talkative format, and so you can talk through what you're doing, and it makes it easier for new players to understand what's happening. The sad part is since Commander just has become such a huge part of Wizards of the Coast, Magic the Gathering specifically, they have been marking up prices in Commander decks. And so if you want to get a single Commander deck off the shelf, that's like $75 for 100 pieces of cardboard. It's a lot of money. And it also discourages new players from coming in, because if you don't already have such a vast collection, it's a lot harder to make a 100-card deck than it is to make, say, a 60-card deck, because most Standard and Modern formats are just 60 cards, and it's a lot easier to put those together. And in those 60-card formats, you can instead instead of putting one unique card in every slot, you can have repeats. Most modern and standard formats, you can have 4 of each card. So you can have 4 copies of one card in your deck. However, this, you can't have any copies with a few exceptions. And so as you can see, Commander has a lot of benefits. It's really fun. You have a lot more social interaction. You can talk to your friends. It's a lot more of a political climate where it's like, well, if I do this for you, you can do this for me. And so it encourages conversation. However, it's a lot more of a time commitment. It can be a lot more of a money commitment with most competitive Commander decks costing upwards of $1,000 per deck. It can be insane for just some pieces of cardboard. However, I enjoy Commander. I think it's a lot of fun. It has its draws that draw me to it, but it also has its disadvantages. So next time when you pull up to your Commander game, you know exactly what to expect. But be warned, there's always one person who brings a deck that worth $5,000 and they kill everyone in the first few turns. Thank you.
Nice.